Hey everyone, and welcome to my October wrap up. I read 4 books this month. I am almost finished with the 5th, but not quite, so that'll go into my November wrap up. So yeah, I don't know why I always do that. So the problem I was finding myself with was I read the book, finish the book, and then it completely exits the building. And I was trying to do these wrap ups and I had nothing to say about the books. So that was the case for the first book I read as well. But then when I got into the second one, I started keeping a note of like my thoughts and feelings on the books so that I can say a little bit more about them. So without further ado, the first book I read this month was The Lies You Told by Harriet Tice. Yeah, I think I just felt like reading it. I mood read this. Can't really remember anything about it. 3 stars. Good book. Finished and gone. And then I moved on to a book that I've had no interest in reading for the whole time I've had it. And then suddenly, the last few months, I was like, I want to read that. So I thought, I'm going to take that and run with it because you never know when the mood will hit again. And that was The Outsider by Stephen King, which, to be honest, I didn't really enjoy. Yeah, there were so many characters in the beginning, and throughout, but in the beginning I was really confused because there were just so many characters, and I think a lot of them, like, yeah, okay, it adds to the effect if you mention other people that are around, but if they're only around for 1 second, you don't need to give them a name and a backstory. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. There were a couple of quotes that I really wasn't a fan of in this book. For example, this woman watches her husband get arrested and I guess she's in a bit of shock. And it says, she looked like some woman in a third world country who had just watched her village burn down. And like, a little bit insensitive anyway. The bit that really bothered me was the some woman, like, this woman in a third world country doesn't even matter who they are. That's how that came across to me. He also, in the same situation, described this woman as looking like a cancer patient. So it said like she'd gone from soccer mom to cancer patient in 30 seconds. Bit insensitive. And then the other thing that really bothered me was it reminded me of a time my science teacher had done an experiment in class. It used to be called Earth Sciences, very simply, but now it's called like environmental studies or something like that. Like, who cares? That is so irrelevant. And the book was filled with little snippets of information that literally nobody cares about. That just made it so much longer than it needed to be. But anyway, sorry, a bit of a tangent. It was like the teacher was doing a science experiment. He invited one of the kids up to the front of the class. Misty Trenton it had been, she of the deliciously short skirts. Ew. Like, quite a lot of sexualising women, and like, just, yeah, uncalled for. There was one quote that I really liked, page 151, which says, when the mind's filter disappeared, the big picture disappeared with it. There was no forest, only trees. At its worst, there were no trees either, just bark. And I liked that. But yeah, this may be a mini spoiler, so, you know, but I was expecting like a murder mystery. They're trying to solve this murder, which is the case, but I thought they were going to like find a killer. Quite a lot of supernatural elements in there, which wasn't really what I signed up for. There's no indication that that's going to be the case. And yeah, I kind of lost interest then. So overall I gave it 2.25. Like, it was enough to keep me kind of wanting to know what the story was. I was hoping it was going to redeem itself and just be really clever, like serial killer, but it was just so unnecessarily long, and you know, all of those other things I said. So 2.25 for The Outsider. Tea break. Next I read something really lovely, which was Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. It was just so cute, and I don't think this one has been adapted into a TV programme yet, but because I've seen the first series, I actually think I only watched 7 episodes and never watched the last one, but I can like picture the characters and the cast, which made it even better to me. I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I'm so excited to read the 4th one and then probably rewatch the first one and watch the new series as well, new season. Yeah, I was just like smiling to myself on the coaster, on the sofa, kicking my legs. Like, it's just a lovely, lovely read, nice and cozy. But I mean, there was some heavier, more difficult stuff in this, but it's still a really cozy, comforting read. So I really liked that, and that was 4 stars. And then I moved on to another Alice Oseman. I was born for this. I think Alice Oseman is probably my favourite author. I think I've made that decision this month, which is exciting. I've only read 3 of her books and then 3 of the Heartstoppers, but I will be making my way through all of her work. Just check that her pronouns are she, her. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and it's probably my least favourite Oseman so far, but I still really enjoyed it. I think it's just at the beginning it was quite unrelatable for me, although as it progressed it became more and more relatable. But I've never been like, it's basically about Angel, who's this fangirl of this really popular band. She's like a mega fan, and I have never really been one of those people, so for that it was a little bit unrelatable for me. However, as it moved on and it like explored anxiety and like relationships, connection, it became a lot more relatable for me, and I really enjoyed it. Just got instantly into it, which is so nice, especially after reading The Outsider, because I read Heartstopper in the middle of reading The Outsider. So once I finished The Outsider, I moved on to this, and it was quite a nice palate cleanser. It was nice to get into a book and be into it straight away, because at the start of The Outsider I wasn't even sure if I was going to finish it. I just love her writing. I just think she's a brilliant writer, and she just gets today's young people and young adults. She just gets it, and that's really cool, and it's really nice to read. What was I going to say? Oh, I hadn't really read the blurb, and then when I got to page 172 I decided to read the blurb, and I kind of wished I hadn't, because I do quite like going into a book blind, and then like, it obviously wasn't a spoiler because it's on the back, but it's something that I wasn't surprised that was going to happen, but I didn't know for sure, so I kind of wish I hadn't read the blurb. But it didn't really take away from the story. I still really enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars. This was my prompt job pick for the prompt, A Book I Bought in Waterstones, because I bought this in August, I think, in Waterstones, my new local Waterstones. And then my poll winner for the month was War Doctor by David Knott, which I have almost finished, but I'll give my wrap up for that in November if I do another video, which hopefully I will. And that is it. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely November. Bye!